Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello and welcome friends. This is the third lecture for this course on political parties and party system in India. So far we have been discussing political parties, party system, approaches to study political parties and party system in comparative perspective, and also their relationship or linkages with modern democracy. Now, in this lecture today we are going to focus on political parties and party system in India, the evolution of party system in India, and in India we have one evolution of party system from one party dominant system to multi-party system, and again there is some kind of similarities with one party domination with the rise of BJP, especially after its electoral performance in 2014 and 19. So, in this lecture today we are going to discuss the evolution of party system in India from one party dominance to multi-party system, and what are the characteristics of different phases of party system in India, and what are the reasons for those characteristics or nature of party system in India. So, Indian party system is unique in a sense that the often characterized system of party system that we have discussed, like one party, two party or multi party system, in most political systems in the world are very different from the way party system functions, operates and evolves in modern India. So, in that sense Indian party system is very unique from the often conventional characterization of party system as one party, two party and multi party system. So, this unique nature of party system in India we have to keep in mind when we discuss about the party system. It has evolved from a one party dominant system to a vibrant and highly competitive multi party system. So, initially after the independence there is the dominance of Congress party, and that dominance did not mean there was no existence of other opposition party. They did exist, however, the ruling Congress party overwhelmingly dominated both the structure of the state and many aspects of Indian society. So, from that kind of dominant system there has been a rise to a more vibrant and highly competitive multi party system in India. However, after the electoral performance of BJP in 2014 and 19, there are many scholars who argue that there are again a new phase of political party system in India with the hegemonic status of BJP. So, there is some kind of similarities or resemblance of one party dominance. However, there are many apprehension about characterizing the modern or most recent phase of party system in India as one party dominant system, precisely because there are many regional parties or many new kind of political formulation with increased political participation and politicization of masses and the community. It is very hard for one party to exercise and control power as Congress did in the first 2 decades of Indian independence. Zoya Hassan has rightly argued that political parties in India neither fit into the liberal democratic model of party systems in US and Europe, nor to the India's traditional social divisions or hierarchies. So, this point we have to understand when we are talking about political parties and party system. So, all the political parties or party system will exhibit the characteristic or nature of the society in which it operates. In Indian case, the nature or the functioning of political parties are very different from the modern western liberal democratic model of party system on the one hand, and India's own traditional and indigenous social divisions and hierarchies and social norms and so on. So, what you see in the nature or the characteristic of Indian party system is a kind of blend, a kind of mixing of numerous contradictory forces, and these are contradictory forces in Indian party system blend or mix different forms of modern democratic participatory politics with indigenous practices and institution. Now, these features of Indian parties and party system we have to keep in mind when we discuss about party system in India. So, it is not a replica of party system and model of party system as it exists in the western liberal democracy, nor is it reflective of truly or authentic Indian past or traditional practices. So, it is a kind of queer mixture of different contradictory forces and features. E. Sridharan, while talking about the transformation and growth of party system, argues that Indian party system evolved as a fragmentation of national parties. Now, this point we have to understand in the context of the first phase, which we are going to discuss in some details in a moment, but the result of fragmentation of the national party like Congress, which was like an umbrella party, which represented the ideology from the extreme left to the right, and it has representation from different strata of Indian society, from the upper caste Brahmins to the Dalits to the Muslims and many other excluded and marginal communities like tribals and so on. So, E. Sridharan argues that party system in India and its growth and evolutions are result of the fragmentation of national parties. So, fragmentation of one party dominated national system in India has resulted in an evolving party system. So, party system in India is not a set or final outcome, where you will see in different phases it exhibit different characteristics of party system, starting from one party dominant system to multi party systems, and again with some kind of resemblance to one party system. So, this evolution of party system in India therefore is still in flux. Barring the recently held general election in 2014 and 2019, no party has achieved parliamentary majority in 7 general elections held between 1989 to 2019. Now, this explains the unstable or the fluidity in party system in India. So, we started our post independent journey as a one party dominant system, but we also experienced a phase where for a very long time no party, not a single party on its own was in a position to form the government. So, for a very long time we have a coalition government of many parties. So, this development explains that the party system in India is still in flux. it is still evolving and its nature and characteristics changes from phase to phase. Sridharan uses two theories to understand party system in India. One is social cleavages theory and a political systemic theory. These two theory we have briefly discussed in the previous lecture, where we have seen that how social cleavages theory explains the formations and evolutions of political parties along the lines of social cleavages and complexities, and how political system or the political framework, whether it is unitary or federal, also determine or conditions the kind of political parties that may exist in a polity. So, these two theory to understand party system is used by Sridharan, where he argues that the social cleavages theory postulates that nature and characteristic of the political parties reflect the social cleavages that exist in society on caste, class, language, religion, ethnicity and ideological lines. So, in India in different phases one encounters the formation of political parties along these lines, which are result of the heterogeneities, complexities and the cleavages that exist in society. So, you have caste based party or ethnicity based party or religion based party and so on, besides the ideological divides. So, the social cleavages theory explains a social dimension or how social framework determines the nature and the characteristic of political parties in a polity. The other theory is political systemic theory, which focuses on the structure of polity. For example, the nature of polity as federal or unitary, and also the electoral processes such as first past the post system. In India, we have the first past the post system or the propositional representation system. These two, the nature of polity, whether it is federal or unitary, and the electoral process, whether it is first past the post system or propositional representation, conditions the functioning of party system in a democratic polity. For example, if we take a federal polity to understand the evolution of parties and party system, we will find in a federal polity where a state is more powerful, it is likely that political entrepreneurs or leaders will take more interest in forming state parties, and voters also tend to vote for the state parties, and there is the rise of multiple party therefore. Now, in a federal polity, if it is characterized by a strong center or powerful center, then the political entrepreneurs will take more interest in forming national parties, and voters too then also focus on national parties, which determines the policy outcomes and also the political discourse in a government. So, these political system or the political systemic theory take into account the nature of the polity or the electoral process while determining or examining the evolution of parties and party system in a particular polity. Another political scientist, Duverger, has argued that first past the post system, that means a system where from one electoral constituency there is only one winner, and that one winner need not to secure more than half of the vote. So, even a leader or a candidate, if he or she win less than 50% or say for instance 30 or 40%, so long he or she enjoys the maximum number of vote, he or she will be declared as the winner. So, in this first past the post system, only one candidates are elected from one constituency, and that candidate need not to secure the more than half of the vote, which is in that sense very many scholars are critical of that kind of representation. So, most of the political parties you will see forming the government with majority of seats, but in terms of vote share they will have 30% to 40% or maybe even less during the coalition government. So, this first past the post system according to de Verger tends to result in two party system. So, over a period of time in the first past the post system, you have the growth of two party system in most of the liberal democracy. For example, in US or in UK, of course, there are minor parties or third parties, but power generally alternates between the two major parties. However, India seems to defy this rule of de Verger at least until 2 decades of the independence. Nonetheless, de Verger is partially true, as with the growth and transition of party system in India, we see a more fragmented multi-party system at the national level, but a consolidated bipartisan or bipolar party system at the state level. So, as there is a growth in public participation in the electoral process, their politicization, there has been development of consolidation of parties at the state level, certainly more so after the first 2 decades of independence. So, one could argue that there are clear consolidation of two parties at the state level, and there are also indication that even at the national level there is some kind of consolidation of parties into two blocks, for instance National Democratic Alliance and United Progressive Alliance led by BJP and Indian National Congress. Occasionally there are discussion or murmur about the third front minus the BJP and the Congress, but they have very little scope and prospect. So, in fact, BJP in recent phase dominates the party system in India, and political parties in their alignment and realignment respond to this changed reality of party system in India. So, to sum up the discussion so far, there have been a tendency from one party dominant system to a bi-party consolidation at least at the state level, and also some kind of consolidation at national level between these two blocks NDA and the UPA. That also indicates the rise of multi-party system with regional and state parties playing a crucial role in the formation of one of these two blocks and their government at the center, and they certainly play a very decisive role at the state level. So, in Indian parties system generally you can see the tendencies or the characteristics which exhibit the characteristic of both bi-party system and also the multi-party party system. Now, broadly speaking, party system in India can be divided into the following 4 phases, which we are going to discuss in some detail each of these phases and their characteristics. The first phase was from 1952 to 1967. This phase of party system in India was or is characterized by Congress system, where Congress dominates electoral politics as well as the ideological social aspects of Indian polity. The second phase of party system is characterized as bipolarization of the state party system, which started from 1967 and matured in 1989. Third phase of Indian party system is a kind of pattern of fragmentation, split, merger, realignment and so on. So, third phase which started from 1989 and ends in 2014 to some extent is characterized by a multi-party system with different kinds or different trends in terms of fragmentation of political parties or national political parties. So, the third phase is regarded as the pattern of fragmentation and growth of multi-party from 1989 to 2014. Fourth phase of party system in India is the revival of one party dominance with the hegemonic status of the BJP since 2014. The first phase of party system in India is rightly regarded as the Congress phase because of the hegemonic status of Congress in Indian politics as it ruled both the center and the states. And although multiple party did exist during this one party dominant system or Congress system of party system in India, but the ruling party played an overwhelmingly dominant role both in the government and in the electoral politics. The penetration of the Congress party was matchless. So, no opposition party was even closer in terms of organizational strength, the electoral power or the penetration of Congress party to the Indian society. So, this phase you have multiple party that exist, but the electoral politics and the political discourse was dominated overwhelmingly by the ruling party. Maurice Jones described this phenomena as dominance coexisting with competition, but without a trace of alteration. So, there was competition which coexist with the dominance of Congress party, but that competition because of the fragmented nature of opposition party on ideological lines, there was no real challenge to alter the political prospect of the Congress party. So, Maurice Jones characterized this phase as dominance coexisting with competition, but without any trace of alteration, without any changes in the electoral outcomes of the polity. This phase of party system is famously characterized by Rajni Kothari, and since then many scholars on party system and political parties in India use this phrase from Rajni Kothari to describe the first phase of Indian party system, which he calls Congress system. In this system, Congress dominated political scenes by winning elections both at the national and state levels in 1952, 1957 and 1962 election, when polls were held simultaneously both for the parliament and the state assembly. The policies of nation building, economic development, boosting agriculture and industries were priority of the Congress party, and these programs of the Congress party resonates with the popular debates and discussions and demands by the masses or their expectation from the political elites and parties. So, this phase according to Zoya Hassan was characterized by one party dominance with moderate level of participation. So, the political participation was not very popular. There was some kind of limited or moderate political participation of the masses in the political process. And there was some kind of consensus among the elites on socialism, secularism, federalism and democracy. So, in this phase of party system in India, there was moderate level of political participation with elite consensus on the overall pattern or trajectories of Indian polity, which revolved around the idea of socialism, secularism, federalism and democracy. So, in this phase Congress functioned as an umbrella or catch all party. That means, it represented the ideological spectrum from extreme left to right, and there was the all kind of factions that that existed within the Congress party. So, the real competition existed within these factions of the Congress party than between Congress and the other opposition party. In fact, the opposition parties used to align with the like minded factions within the Congress party to exert their pressure on the government. So, in this phase which is characterized by Congress system, you have the Congress party dominating both the center and the state, and whole political discourse was centered around the activities, programs, functioning of the Congress party. Now, in the second phase from 1967 to 89, we see a kind of consolidation or bipolarization of the state party system. So, it was a result of 1967 election, which was a turning point in the emergence of Indian party system from one party dominant system. Now, in this phase between 1967 to 89, Congress continued to win parliamentary election, but it lost 8 of in this particular election of 19. So, during this phase Congress continued to maintain its dominating position, but it was no longer the hegemonic party as it exercised or controlled power in the first phase. So, in 1967 it won the parliamentary election, but lost in 8 of the 16 state assemblies, and a split in the Congress in 1969. There was a split between Congress Organization Party and Congress led by Indira Gandhi, and also delinking of parliamentary and assembly election in 1971 played a very important role in the fragmentation of national parties. So, many political formulation and party formation are result of the fragmentation of national parties. So, except for a brief period of 1977 and 80s, Congress did maintain its dominant position until 1989. However, it began to lose power and support base state after state. So, every state after another, Congress party was losing to the opposition parties. However, it continues to form government at the center, except for a brief period of 1977 to 80s, when first non-Congress government was formed by Janata Party. So, this period also witnessed the suspension of organizational election, and that was the crucial reason for the decline of Congress party over a period of time. What happens with the split or delinking of parliamentary and state assembly election? Congress party, which had formidable organizational structure, suspend the election for party position, and they developed a kind of appropriation or centralization and personalization of power at the top, and that led to a kind of rise of high command culture and weakening of its organizational strength, which gradually over a period of time lead to the decline of Congress party state after the state and even now at the national level. So, this phase of party system in India is characterized by the gradual decline of Congress party. Even when it maintained its dominance at the national level, state after state it was declining, and there was new political development and formation at the state level. So, the defeat of Congress party in 1977 general election and formation of first non-Congress Janata Party government at the center ushered a new development in Indian party system. So, after the emergency, because of the excesses of Indira Gandhi government and his son Sanjay Gandhi, there was a disenchantment with the policies, programs of the or misuse or abuse of the power by the Congress, and that brought different political parties with a very contradictory, often contradictory ideology together, and they collectively fought the Congress in 1977 election. So, the four ideological different parties that came together to form Janata Party was Jan Sangh, which was the ideological ancestor of present day Bharatiya Janata Party, Bharatiya Lok Dal of Chaudhary Charan Singh, Congress organization led by Morarji Desai and others, and the Socialist Party. So, they were united, and only unifying factor among them was not the ideological cohesiveness or consensus around any political programs, but their united opposition to the Indira Gandhi. That ideological differences and internal squabbling led to the collapse of Janata Party in 1980s, and many regional and state party that you see today is the result of the fragmentation of Janata Party. So, Rashtriya Janata Dal or Janata Dal United or Janata Dal Secular are the result of that fragmentation, even the reformulation of Jan Sangh as Bharatiya Janata Party. So, these ideological differences and internal squabbling that led to the collapse of Janata Party in 1980s brought Congress back in power. This Congress repeated again in 1984 after the assassination of Indira Gandhi with sympathy vote. Congress party managed to win 48.1% of the vote share and 415 seats out of 542. So, this was Congress best performance since independence. However, it remains organizationally weak, and Janata parties and its various formulations after its collapse along with other new regional parties dominated the party politics both at the national and regional levels in Indian politics, and they did so more after 1989 till 99 when these regional parties or the Janata Party of different states or led by different leaders, they not just contest the national parties, but began to play a formidable role in formation of government at the center. So, in 1989 or 1996 to 1998, you see a different kind of role that these parties play in Indian politics. So, from 1977 to 1989 and from 1989 to 1909, you see a new kind of party system emerging in India, which was dominated by different kinds of Janata Party who were part of erstwhile Janata Party. So, the decline of Congress party led to the formation of different parties on the ethnic, caste, religion and other identity grounds. So, different communities which earlier represented by the Congress, with the politicization developed their own aspiration, and to express those aspirations and fight for those aspirations, they began to formulate their own parties. So, party like Assam Gan Parishad and Bodoland People's Front in Assam, DMK and AIDMK in Tamil Nadu, Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party in UP, in Uttar Pradesh are result of this new formation on ethnic, caste, religion and regional basis in Indian party system. This phase is characterized by continued dominance of Congress, at least in the general election or in the formation of national government, but there was discernible growth of bipolarization at the state level. So, during this phase of 1967 to 1989, one can see a clear movement towards the formation of bipolar parties at the state level. For instance, in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh and Delhi, with the consolidation of non-Congress party behind the Bharatiya Jana Sangh, which was the ideological ancestor of the BJP, movement towards the two-party system began as early as in 1967, and it remained more or less same except in Delhi, where Aam Aadmi Party now has more than a position of dominance. So, it has reduced the national party like Congress and BJP in Delhi to almost ineffective presence in this state assemblies. So, this consolidation in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh more or less remain a kind of bi-party contestation between Congress and the BJP, and it started as early as from since 1967. In the West Bengal, Kerala and Tripura, two corner battle ensued between Congress and the left party. So, it is true that there was the growth of two party system at the state level, but these two parties were not necessarily from the same ideological groups or as it existed in say major two party system in liberal democracies such as US and UK. Here in different states there was different kind of parties which consolidated their support base and lead to a kind of bi-party system. So, in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh you have contestation between BJP or Indian National Congress, but in West Bengal, Kerala and Tripura the contestation was between Congress and the CPI. Now, with the coming of Trinamool Congress and growth of BJP, there is also change in the party system, particularly in West Bengal and also in Tripura. There are similar attempts in Kerala as well, but the two corner contestation from 1967 to 1989 in these states were primarily between Congress and the left parties and their alliance. In Punjab and JK, Andhra Pradesh, Assam and Goa, there emerged bipolar contestation between Congress and the regional parties. So, there was different kind of regional parties in these states like Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, Assam and Goa, and there was national party represented by Congress and they contest assembly elections in these states to regional parties. So, regional parties began to contest or question the dominance of national party like Congress in these states. However, since the 1990s we see a change in these states as well, with the BJP often with alliance with the regional parties in these states contest the presence of the Congress, and that lead to the phenomenal growth and expansion of BJP from a Hindi heartland based party to a pan Indian and truly national party. Tamil Nadu in this period became a two party state in true sense of the term, where power alternates between DMK and AIDMK, and national parties in Tamil Nadu even today have third and fourth position in comparison to these two regional parties DMK and AIDMK. Similarly, in the northeastern states there developed a bipolar contest between Congress and regional parties. Thus, one can argue that the bipolar consolidation was the defining feature of at least at the state levels, and was driving force behind the fragmentation of national party system in this second phase of party system and its evolution in India. The third phase is characterized by the fragmentation and the growth of multi-party from 1989 to 2014. Party system post 1989 was truly a multi-party system in India, with the formation of coalition governments and regional party playing significant roles in government formation. So, from 1989 till 1998, as I have discussed, regional parties and state party not just consolidated their position in different states, but also began to play a very decisive role in the formation of national government, challenging both the BJP and the Congress. That is a phase where there is a development of multi-party system in India in true sense of the term, where the state parties are no longer effective only in their state, but also began to play a decisive role in the formation of national government, the coalition government, even in whether it is led by BJP led NDA or Congress led UPA, which of the two blocs form the government, regional party or state party began to play a very significant role even in such formulation. So, this phase is characterized by the phenomenal growth of the BJP and continuous decline of the Congress party, and that is the defining feature of this phase, which leads to a kind of new phase of political party system after 2014 election, where there is a continuous or steady rise of BJP both electorally and ideologically, and gradual but continuous decline of Congress party in different states and also in the national parliamentary election. Jan Sangh, the ideological ancestor of the BJP, never got more than 10% of the vote share and more than 35 seats, except in 1977, when as a coalition partner to Janata Party, it won 95 seats. So, in comparison to Congress, BJP has really a very narrow and limited scope to become the ideological challenge and alternative to the Congress party. However, election after election we see the phenomenal growth and rise of the BJP in electoral politics in India. So, BJP has been steadily developed both in terms there has been since the formation of BJP in 1980s after the collapse of Janata Party, there has been a steady rise of BJP both in terms of vote and seat share, and it has emerged as a powerful national party and won general election in 1996, 1998 and 1999. First full term non-Congress government at the center during this phase of 1989 to 2009 is 2014 is only once it was led by BJP to form a coalition which ran for the full term of 5 years under the leadership of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So, this phase of party system in India is characterized by pre-poll and post-poll alliances. So, the alliances becomes the defining feature of party system in this phase, and since 1998 regional or state parties continues to align with any one of the two alliances. So, till 1998 they themselves directly participate and played decisive role in the government formulation, but since 1998 you see a kind of alignment and realignment of these regional parties behind one of the two blocks such as NDA and the UPA led by Congress and the BJP. Many regional party often switch sides, and it is less likely that together they could provide viable alternative to the Congress and the BJP. So, these are some of the characteristics of party system in the third phase. In the fourth and final phase of party system in India, we see a revival of one party domination with the hegemonic status of BJP since 2014, and this ushered in the new phase of party system India, and there are some dispute among the scholars where to call it a revival of one party system or a one party dominated system with certain regional or state parties providing formidable challenge to the BJP. Nonetheless, there is a consensus about the decline of Congress party and the phenomenal rise of the BJP. So, the fourth phase of party system is characterized by the hegemonic position of the BJP, and it has not only consolidated its position in the Hindi heartland, the traditional main support base of the party, but it has also expanded in South and in Northeast India. In 2014 and 2019 election, BJP on its own has won majority in the parliament. This has happened after for the first time since 1989. The BJP has emerged in this phase as a strong political force on the basis of Hindutva, and this ideology of Hindutva largely promotes the Hindu interest, and this phenomenal rise of the BJP is seen as a defeat of the Nehruvian consensus or Nehruvian ideas of secularism and plural multicultural democracy, as BJP emphasized more on homogeneity, unity and Hindu nationalism. So, in 2014 Indian party system saw the decline of Congress party completely, and it was replaced by the BJP led NDA government at the center. In recent times, it is the personality cult politics where the Narendra Modi charisma swept all votes in favor of the BJP. So, in this phase also there is a kind of re-emergence or personalization of power that we have seen during the time of Indira Gandhi, with the centralization and personalization of the power by compromising the organizational strength of the Congress party. So, there is similar tendency in contemporary politics and political discourse as well, where the leaders and the personality cult is once again playing a decisive role in terms of shaping the public opinions and garnering the support of the voters to the for the party or the alliance. So, BJP led NDA gained tremendous support from the upper caste Hindus, SCs, STs and minority groups as well. BJP rose to power from 19% to 31% vote share, and as part of the NDA coalition 38% to a majority of 282 seats on its own in 2014 election. It won in Hindi belt like northern and central parts, including western states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka in south and Assam in northeast region. So, there is a kind of phenomenal growth of BJP by consolidating its support base in the Hindi heartland and expanding its support across the western, southern and northeast India. The BJP led NDA won again in general election of 2019 with a thumping victory, and BJP came to power with more seats than in 2014, winning 302 seats on its own. So, this phase of party system can be argued as BJP not only being a system defining party, that means the whole political discourse, political alignments and realignments are now in response to the BJP. So, BJP no longer is the excluded or the marginal force, but it has acquired a kind of systemic character where it dominates the ideological or the social political discourse in the country. This BJP has been able to do by maintaining by combining its ideology of Hindu nationalism on the one hand and new developmentalism on the other hand. So, in some of its slogan like Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas, along with its definition of India as a Hindu nation, as Suhas Palshikar and many other scholars has argued, has given BJP a formidable status in Indian party system. So, along with this combination of Hindu nationalism and new developmentalism, BJP also has a matchless organizational and financial resources that ensures its hegemony much beyond its electoral performance in Indian society. So, although it would be premature to say that India is returning to second era of one party dominance or one party dominant system as we have seen during the first 2 decades after independence. However, with BJP dominating much of the political debates and discourse in the country, it would not be an exaggeration to say that the center of Indian politics has decisively shifted from Congress towards the BJP, and BJP is now the new force to reckon with in the political alignment, realignment and discourse in the country. Now, to conclude this lecture today, we can refer to Paul Brass' description of parties in India, which we have briefly touched upon in the initial part of this lecture. Paul Brass, while arguing about the political parties and party system in India, writes, "Party politics in India display numerous paradoxical features which reveal the blending of Western and modern form of bureaucratic organization and participatory politics with indigenous practices and institutions." So, the formation of political parties, its organization, functioning and ideology are a kind of queer mixture of the Western bureaucratic model of organization with the indigenous practices and institution. Party system in India has evolved from a one party dominant system to multi-party system, and this evolution from one party system to a multi-party system is result of the fragmentation of the national party, primarily Congress, but also many other parties such as Janata Party and so on. So, it is also characterized simultaneously with the politicization of the masses and popular participation. So, particularly in 1980s or 90s, the debates in Indian politics around market, mandal and mandir, the Ram Janmabhoomi movement and so on, polarized the voters and increased their political and influence their decision to participate in the electoral politics. So, this fragmentation of Indian parties can also be seen as the result of politicization of the masses and their increased participation and the ideological divides around the issue of market, mandal and mandir. So, many scholars have argued that the evolution of party system in India coincide with the democratization and democratic upsurge, especially by the excluded and marginal communities such as OBC and Dalits, and many scholars like Christophe Jefferlet argues about the silent revolution which leads to the rise of new leadership among the excluded and marginal communities such as OBC and Dalits. So, many parties began to assert its share in the power and so on during this phase of evolution of Indian party system. One of the defining feature of party system in India is that they reflect the social complexities and social cleavages along the caste, religion, ethnicity and regional line. This has paved the way for the growth of multi-party system in India. Party system in India, as we have discussed, are characterized by its different phases of evolution, which we have seen from one party dominance to bipolarization at the state level to multi-party and again a revival of one party dominance. And at present what we see in Indian party system is it is dominated by the BJP and other kind of political discussion alignments are usually in response to the BJP. So, the center or the gravity of Indian politics and party system shifted decisively from the Congress to the BJP, which has also. That is what I wish to discuss on the evolution of party system in India, and you can refer to some of these texts to understand more on the nature and evolution of party system in India. Most importantly, Zoya Hassan, Parties and Party Politics in India is a good reference book to understand different kinds of parties, their ideological backgrounds, support base, electoral performance and their contribution to Indian politics. Besides that, you can also refer to Adnan Farooqui and E. Sridharan, Can Umbrella Parties Survive? The Decline of Indian National Congress. Similarly, in Nirja Gopal Jayal and Pratap Bhanumehta, there are two good chapters on political parties and party system. You can also refer to Rajni Kothari party system and Praveen Rai and Sanjeev Kumar, The Decline of Congress Party in Indian Politics. You should also refer to Ramsroy Roy, Dynamics of One Party Dominance in an Indian State. So, these are some of the readings which I suggest you to refer to understand more about the evolution of party system in India. I hope you like this lecture, and thanks for listening. Thank you all.